So we have another special guest here tonight. We have DJ Pop. How's it going, Pop?
It's going good, man. I can't complain, man. Just you know, been taking this break all year, well, all last year, cause we in 2021 now. But yeah, just been taking a long ass break, cause I got laid off from my job, but I was still getting that unemployment, so I really got to take a break. But at the same time, I was still DJing. But yeah, just refreshing and starting to get back into what I was doing before this pandemic came.
Absolutely. So you saying that you was doing some DJ during the pandemic as well. So it didn't stop your grind. It didn't stop too much of it, right? You still had a little bit of work here and there.
Yeah, definitely. The DJ thing kept going. The club I was at, it closed down for a brief second, but it was kind of odd because during the summertime it kind of got back jumping again. So it was like a pandemic going on, but the club was still kind of lit. And it was the funny thing about the club was I'm gonna just hit a brief point. A strip club during COVID. This is how it was where I was at. So they had like a main stage and a mini stage in the back of the building. So the main stage it had like the little movie ropes so you don't get too close to the dancers, and the backstage was like the funniest shit ever. It had a shower curtain around it, and it was like you had to throw the money over the curtain, and I've never seen nothing like that. It was hilarious to me, but yeah, just imagine like you watching a female twerk and you can't really throw the money directly at her. You gotta throw it over the curtain. That shit was wild.
Okay, so it was a little odd DJing during the pandemic as well.
It was just odd being in a club setting, knowing that everything else was like closed down, but I was still able to work as a DJ during the summer COVID time, which was strange. It's a new experience, but I had a lot of fun. It was almost like COVID wasn't going on during the times I was in the club. Even though we had to wear masks, but just the whole party mode of everything. I mean, we had a couple of nights where it was some big parties, and a lot of people came out during COVID.
Okay. So what was your biggest party you would say during this year? Well, during 2020.
At the club where I DJ. I'm associated with this guy. His name is Party Boy, and this was on his birthday. And he know a lot of dancers and everything like that. And he got me the gig where I was DJing at. But anyway, we were this was in July, I think it was. I think it was summertime, but that was the biggest party because everybody came out. I mean, it was food. It was more dancers than usual. DJ Best Friend came out, and man, we had a ball, man. It was just so much going on that was it was like five DJs in the house, and each DJ, we was like rotation, like everybody got a chance to DJ that night. It was just wild. It's a wild situation, but contained. Nothing bad happened. It was a lot of fun, man. It was like felt like I was 21 all over again. you know.
Absolutely. So speaking of time and age, when you first started DJing, what inspired you to get to that level where you say, you know what, I want to take my talents on music and go out and show people how to have a good time?
I always been into music as a kid, as far as being a consumer and just listening to it and being pressed to get CDs on the first day they drop. That was me like all of my teenage years. And I have some family members that are musicians and they play instruments and all that. So I was around that a lot, but I never picked up an instrument on my own. I was just heavy into hip hop and rap music, and then I got to find out how the music was made and the tools that were used. And it was this one machine called an MPC, and I had never touched it before. I just seen it on television, like producers like Dr. Dre and other artists just, hitting the pads and putting the beat in a loop. And like through seeing it on TV, I just fell in love with it. I was like, damn, that's the way beats are made. And at the time, these machines is very expensive. They cost over $1,000, and as a teenager, I ain't have the money to get it, even though I had a job and I wasn't that disciplined to save my money. the discipline didn't come until like I got in my 30s, and started making more money or whatever. So I ended up buying my own MPC, and I finally, got into it, and through that led into DJing. So I'm still in the process of making it a reality. It's something I could live off. So, I got my 9 to 5, but don't nobody want to do no 9 to 5. Not me. I'm too creative for that. So I'm still in the process of going into that lane of just being strictly an artist, and making money off that, and just letting that feed myself. But yeah, that's how I pretty much got into music, or making music and DJing.
And you also said something about people in your family also picking up instruments and things like that, right? So is there anybody that you look up to, or anybody that has influenced you to kind of enjoy music? And because I mean, you do have somebody famous or somebody that's done wrote music and things like that in your family, right? So touch base a little bit on like how do you feel that the music flows through your roots?
Okay. Well, first, before I get to my famous cousin, I'm gonna talk about his dad, which is my uncle Stanley. He was a musician from. I mean, he's still a musician now, but he was real heavy in it back in the day. I say like the '70s, late '60s, '70s. He had his own band, and he played all kinds of instruments, the guitar, the piano, and all that. And he had a great singing voice. And so he had two sons, and both of them became musicians as well. And my famous cousin, which is his son, his name is Andre, but he goes by the name of Chink Santana. So just being around all of this and seeing that, and then when I pick it up, certain things start coming to me naturally, and then it just all started making sense, even though I didn't start as a child like they did. So it got me feeling like it's, even though I'm older, it's not too late, because certain things that came to me naturally. I'm like, okay, well, obviously it's in me, and I can see it come through the bloodline of my family. So I might as well go get with it even more because of those reasons as well.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. And you also do more than just DJ, right? Is that true? Okay. So what other musical talents do you also share?
Well, I haven't made any music as far as using my vocals, you know what I mean? But I can hold a note, and that's one of them things I have yet to tap into yet. I did a lot of things with DJ Best Friend. He's also a producer too, so I'm looking toward the future of getting with him, and putting something together for the first time, vocally, track wise and music wise. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. Now you do make beats as well, right?
Yeah, I do. I do make beats. Honestly, right now, in the way it's been for a few years, it was never like really to really make anything out of it. It was more like a hobby. So with me getting practice doing that, it's preparing me to really getting to some real music production, and make something out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. So Pac, let's get into a little bit of your personal life, right? So how was it like growing up? How did you cope with like growing up? How was your living situation, family? Did you get ass whippings? Like what's going on?
Well, I would just say it was it was non-traditional as far as coming up in a household where you got your mother and your father, and like, and that's it. It was my mom and my dad, but it was my mom and my dad, my grandmother, my auntie, and I got to experience having two grandfathers in my life. And a lot of people never get to see their grandfathers, because the society we live in, it get black men in and out of here, whether it's through crime, jail, or death, or just bad eating habits, and or drinking and drugging. Like, I think black men have a living expectancy of 70 years old or something like that, or maybe even 65. it's getting younger and younger by the year. But about my upbringing, man, I'm the oldest of six. And my dad, he had three different baby mothers, but he actually married my mom, and I got to see that. I actually took part in the wedding as a ring bearer. You know what I'm saying? So I got to experience that whole thing. I actually got a chance to see my parents love on each other before they parted ways or whatever. So I'm thankful for that in a way of like, even though I'm not married yet, I know what it looks like. And, that's like, they set a goal in my head, like, that's what it looks like so I can achieve that, I could envision it for myself. But, yeah, coming up, man, it was wild. Like, I didn't stay in one place. I did a lot of moving at one point, and I'm from D.C., so I lived in New Jersey as well. But for the most part, ages 1 through 10, I was in D.C. And all my teenage years I spent in Bowie, Maryland. And then when I turned 20, I moved back to D.C. So I got a lot of experience in the city life and the suburban life. To see two sides of the fence. But yeah, shit was. That's a long story about my upbringing, man. It's almost like where do I start? But that's probably the briefest that I could put it. That's like a this. I'm trying to shorten the story, but man, it's like where do I start with that?
No, I mean, you're doing just fine. Yeah, you're doing great. Uh, I have another question as well for you. So, I understand that being a DJ, you support a lot of music. So, is there anything outside of music that you do like to support as well?
Outside of music, the support, just things in general.
Yeah, just in general, anything.
Oh yeah, man. Like just getting older and being a black man and of black culture and all that, and just realizing that we need to have more of our own and own more. So since I don't really own anything yet, I could contribute to people that own stuff. Like my sister's boyfriend, his name's Stefan, and he got a clothing line called Undisclosed Clothing, and just like I'm on here right now. I would like to just promote that and show like promote black businesses and all that. So yeah, I like to give a helping hand to anybody that got a business going already, and yeah, just promote black business.
Awesome, awesome. So, Pac, I from what I've heard is that you're also vegan,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I've been vegan for a while, and it's been helping me. And basically, like to make a long story short, man, like I'm in my 30s, and I feel like I'm in better shape than I was when I was 15. Like I'm not even no cap, like for real, man. Like not just physically, but my thought process and like when your thoughts is going real fast, I'm able to like control my emotions more than I used to, and yeah, vegan is definitely a benefit, especially if you've been eating foul all your life, like McDonald's and fast food. Like, it's definitely more than a physical benefit into going plant based and vegan. I advise everybody to at least try it once for at least 6 months. To be the best thing you ever did.
If you had, if somebody was like, okay, the world is about to end unless you eat something with meat in it, what would you pick? What would be your save the world pick of meat?
It could be seafood too, or just like meat, any type of meat.
See, seafood that's
That's
borderline vegan too. No, we talking
straight
hardcore,
core
straight land animal.
beef. What's for dinner?
Yeah,
That type of thing.
we have the meat.
Okay. I think the most like succulent piece of meat I ever had was like venison and which is deer and what's that other one? Is it goat? The thing with the bone in it? Lamb. Yep, venison and lamb. So between them two, I might have to go with the venison, man. The deer meat. I would get a nice 8-ounce slab of that with some A1 steak sauce and go to work.
If you wasn't vegan, right? That's
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
weren't vegan,
And if the
right?
world was ending and I had to eat a piece of meat, it would be some deer meat,
Right,
aka venison.
right. Awesome. Well, Pac, you know this has been a great interview.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself.
You enjoyed yourself. Is there anything you want to express to the camera? Anything you want to say before we go? Shout outs, anything?
Yeah, I like to shout out Undisclosed Clothing, from Stefan Undisclosed on Instagram. Also my Instagram, DJ Pac, aka Cap on Instagram. And also my younger sister, Kayla, her name is her Instagram, no, her YouTube channel is called Faithfully Made. She do some nice blogs and videos and that are very inspirational. And you could check that out too. And yeah, that's about it, man. Yeah.